أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you all? Alhamdulillah. What we have planned for today, inshallah, is another business case. So I'm going to display the case, inshallah, and then give you a few minutes, let's say about 10 minutes, to identify any weaknesses that you see, just like we did the other case the other day, last week, and then make notes, and then we will discuss. We'll hear from you, and then I will discuss, inshallah. And these slides will be available to you later on today, inshallah. Okay, so take a few minutes, read the case, and then make notes, and then we will discuss, inshallah. Okay, so are you ready?
لا دكتور.
Okay. أحمد، السلام عليكم، كيف الحال؟
الحمد لله. How are you, doctor?
الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله. تفضل أحمد, go ahead. Tell us an issue that you see.
Okay, the first issue that I've seen, it mentioned in the case that there is a trust, a mutual trust between them. They can improve their operation efficiency by eliminating the invoices, since the trust exists.
Okay.
Also,
All right.
the second thing is that they also place an order twice a month. They can just use a blanket purchase order, which will make them avoid the order processing costs.
But there's hardly any processing cost. How do they order?
The processing cost of what?
How
Like
do they order? Order processing meaning we are talking about the buyer, not the seller, right? We are on the side of the buyer.
yes,
So how do the buyer place the order?
by the phone. Yes.
Okay. Is that a good way to do?
They can use EDI instead of the phone. You
Purchase
mean?
order is missing. You see, the thing is,
Yeah. They don't
uh,
even put the
right.
purchase order. Yes.
Blanket purchase orders are good, Ahmed, for those situations where you have the same items coming to you uh, on a recurring basis. For example, water. There is, 2 bottles of water every week. So there is nothing to change. But, this is a clothing store, and your reordering must be based on what you have sold. It would be based on season, it would be based on style,
Yeah.
it would be based on what you have left, right?
Yeah.
So the blanket purchase order actually is not the best fit in this situation,
Okay. So
right?
they order it every 2 months, but the amount doesn't have to be the same. So they don't have to put a blanket order.
لا شوف, they say what we twice a month, not every 2 months.
Oh, twice a month. Yes.
Twice a month, every two
Yeah.
weeks they place an
Yeah.
order, every
Right.
15th or
Right.
30th, something like that. So they place the order based on the supplies that they need, right? So which is a good way. The problem here is, first of all, when you see the word based on mutual trust, right? There is a problem in that sentence itself, because what should the suppliers uh, be done to the suppliers' quality and dependability and price? They should go through periodic evaluations, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and just trusting them and thinking that they're providing the best value all along, it's a problem. So they should evaluate the performance of the supplier, right?
Yeah. Right.
Right.
I got this in mind also. Yes.
But you have some you're thinking, which is good. It is good. Your thought process is good, but you think a little bit more in between the lines. Try to see through. There is some finer problems inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, the good observations. We have one from Muhammad Al Isa. It is better to do the order by purchase order formal contract rather than a phone. Right. So this is what I was saying. So if they have, right, then
Mm-hmm.
they would have a purchase order, right, Muhammad,
Mm-hmm.
and they will have uh, the purchase order to use later for something else, right? So what is that something else? What problem would you have in a later stage if you don't have a purchase order? Can someone identify that issue? There is an issue here when the purchase order is missing later on in the stage of the expenditure cycle.
They're not be able to perform the three-way matching process.
Very good. So we don't have the purchase order, neither do we see any mention of the receiving report,
They
right?
only pay the amount in the invoice. They don't do the matching. Yeah.
Right. So this is going to be a problem, because now they don't have any control The invoices, if the invoices are wrong, they don't have any way of fixing the problem because they don't have any purchase orders, nor do they have any receiving reports, right? Okay, very good. What other problems do we have here?
I think
Use
the
the
way they send the
microphone.
money is not safe.
Go ahead.
The way they send their money is not secured. They can use it. They can pay in a like many different ways. They send. I mean, they send money by the mail.
Right.
They can use a EST or a FEDI way to pay.
EDI is electronic data interchange. So you're saying paying electronically, basically, right?
Yeah,
Making an electronic transfer or making
EFT.
an electronic payment directly from a
Oh,
card or something. Right. Definitely, that these are all upgrades, right? This is a very, very manual type system that they have, right?
yes,
What
sir.
else? What else do we have? Look at the management and see if you have any problems with the management.
Mm.
Purchase manager taking multiple roles, as Sharat
Yes,
said.
yes,
And
yes.
also
Very good.
when they order twice a week, sometimes there is maybe a problem with the supplier if he had a shortage or something like that. If he doesn't have a formal contract, there will be a shortage or other problems. Sorry.
Right. So the thing is, when you choose the supplier, if your supplier is incapable of providing, when you select the supplier, you have to choose a supplier that is able to provide you with the needed level of inventory that you are going to order. So that is decided up front. So it is assumed that you have um, one problem um, is always there if you do not have more than one supplier. And it doesn't say, the case does not explicitly say that they have only one supplier for every item. If it did say that, then that would be a problem because, for example, you remember what happened to us in 2017. All of our milk products came from Almarai, most of it, right? So as soon as there was an issue of getting the supply from them, we were in a situation. So having multiple suppliers to supply you the same thing, if something happens to one, you can increase the order with the other one, right? Does that make sense?
Yes,
Right. So now the thing is, this case actually does not say that they have that problem. But if it said that they have only one supplier for each item, that would be a problem. So if you see that, if you ever see that, then that is something that you can question. Sharat says, is balance invoice method possible in this case? You mean balance forward, paying multiple invoices at the same time? Yes, of course. It is always possible. But remember, mm, they the option is either to pay one invoice from the supplier or two, because you only have two invoices from the same supplier. So paying one at a time or two at a time. So you're not really saving a lot of efficiency by doing this. Do you follow? The problem, there is another problem here with the payment process. There is another problem with the way they make the payment. What is that problem? Okay, let me go over the issues. Some of it you identified, and then the others let's discuss, inshallah. The first one is the manager fills multiple roles, right? So the manager is doing multiple activities. As a result, the segregation of duty is not done properly, which makes the internal control weak. And the business should hire more people to meet the demands of the business and properly segregate the duties. So lack of segregation of duty creates the opportunity for fraud, right? You identified, but just saying the manager fills multiple roles does not tell the whole story. You have to flesh it out. You have to say clearly in 2-3 sentences what exactly is the problem. This I discussed the fact that there is no periodic evaluation of suppliers. So they trust the suppliers, and that is good, but they should be evaluated. Their performance should be evaluated periodically. The suppliers that provided the best value, the best price quality 5 years ago may not currently provide that. Vendors should be done to maintain the best value when the business makes purchases. So every 6 months, every 1 year, if you look at the quality, the price, the timeliness of the delivery, the damaged goods that they're supplying, and the replacement of those damaged goods, all of these must be evaluated. Their performance must be evaluated. The third is the order for supplies is made by phone. So this is a problem because there is no formal process of initiating purchase order. Also, the ordering process is manual. The company can use EDI, electronic data interchange, with the supplier for sending approved electronic purchase orders. There should also be a process of authorization for the purchase order, which is currently missing, right? So the purchase order should be authorized before it's sent and double checked. Nobody's checking that. The manager is doing all of it, and there could be errors, there could be fraud. Nobody there to catch that. The fourth issue is the payment is made based on the invoice received in the mail. First of all, the invoice should be sent via electronic data interchange. Also, the invoice is not matched with any receiving report or purchase order. Therefore, errors could be made in shipment as well as in the preparation of the invoice. So we discussed this, the issue of not doing the three-way matching. Ahmed got this issue, and we discussed it a little bit. So this is an issue. Number 5, the order of payment. So we did not discuss this. The order of payment is the same as the order of invoice received. This policy does not maximize the cash flow for the business. The payments should be made based on due dates, and the maximum amount of possible early payment discount should be taken. So what they do, if they have an offer of 210 and 30, right? If they have an offer of 210 and 30, then if they pay the invoices as they come, and those suppliers that do not offer a discount, and they use their cash in making the payments, and then when a supplier sends an invoice offering the discount, and if they don't have the money to take that discount by making the payment early, then they will lose that. So they should separate those invoices that offer the discount and pay those first, and then if they have the money to pay the rest, they can pay, because they will have more money in 30 days. If the invoice payment does not change by paying within 10 days or 30 days, when they have more sales, they will have more cash to pay those other invoices on time. And saving the money by taking the discount adds to the bottom line. It increases net profit, net income, right? So the invoices should be paid based on when they're due, and the suppliers that offer the discount should be paid first to take the advantage of the discounts. And the last one is the approval of the invoice, the preparation of the check, and the signing of the check is made by the same person. So handling of the cash disbursement, I discussed this is a liquid asset, and there should be a lot more controls in the handling of cash, and it's not there right now. The manager is doing all of it. So this creates lack of segregation of duties in the payment process, creating an opportunity for theft. An opportunity is one of the 3 items in the fraud triangle. So if the checkbook is in the manager's office, there is the mention of lock and key. Anybody can access it perhaps. So this is not the best handling of cash overall for this business. And then one person approves and pays and does all of that. So there is no process of catching the fraud or even an error. The person could make an error, right? The kickback is always, the possibility of kickback is always there, right? But the issue is the case, does it mention specifically, right? So you have to focus on the facts given in the case. Is there an explicit or an implicit mention that there is a possibility of this going? So you can identify that. Otherwise, anything is an option, anything is possible, right? But you have to focus on the facts given in the case. Does that make sense, Atif? Okay. So, you know, this case will be available to you in just a few minutes. You can download it and study it again. And we'll do one more, inshallah, on Tuesday. So we have only one more day left, which is November 17th. And we'll have a quiz on that day, as I announced. On November 19th, the project B is due. The posters should be submitted via Blackboard, right? You can upload the PDF file of the Blackboard of the poster in Blackboard, but the video submission is difficult to do via Blackboard. It's difficult to upload it, and then it's difficult later on for me to download it, even if you're able to upload. So the best option that we had in the past was to upload your video in Google Drive and email me the link, right? Upload your video in Google Drive and email me the link. This has worked well in the previous semester. So inshallah, this will work. If you have students who are not here, please make sure you convey it to them, right? The lowest quiz will be dropped, Omar. The lowest quiz will be dropped. Sharat says, do we add a citation in the poster? Yes. So at the bottom, in one of the corners, make sure you put the references in the poster, as well as if you use them in the video, they should be also presented at the end of the presentation, the references that are used. And you can, if you're presenting in a screen, you can present the references alongside the video presentation as well. Okay? Good questions. Other questions? Are there any other questions related to the project or anything else? All right, then. I will see you on Tuesday, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're almost welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Atif, go ahead. Go ahead, Atif. Well, the option for making the video, Atif, is open. So you're appearing in the video, physically appearing in the video is definitely one of the ways of making the video. So it depends on how, you know, the video is, the quality of the video is, and what you're doing and how you're doing it. There are ample resources on the web on how to make a video, and tools, free tools available on making the video. So I need you to be creative, and this is a question that is not, I am not going to answer it with yes or no. So it's open, right? And you know, use your imagination, your creativity, and try to present the video in the best possible way that you can. Okay? All right. Other questions? All right, then. I will see you on Tuesday, inshallah. If you have other questions, you can email me as well, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.